I like management. The management that decided that we could do this race. I'm very happy.
Let's get it on, what do you say?
Starting grid will roll across the top of the screen. Again, we talk about Carl Edwards setting the pace. Sam Hornish Jr. will start on his outside. Those two make up row number 1. Take a look at our nationwide track description and race analysis. Guys, we talk about a unique racetrack. There are the numbers.
Now, this track is so much fun, Rick. I raced on it last night in Denny's race. And Daryl, you just carry so much speed down into the corner. But darn, it's a tight left. You've got to get busy to make that left.
It's very deceiving. Turn 1 is a big sweeper. And you can get 3 or 4 wide here through the tri-oval here at the start-finish line. But when you get down to turn 1, it's like a funnel. And you got to give the guy some room or you're going to wreck.
Wide racing surface, always good for short track racing because a lot of guys will fight for that real estate here on this racetrack. I want to take a look at our speed spotlight tonight. We shine a spotlight on a few different drivers. We'll begin with Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. You know, back in 2001, ML Motorsports almost hired David Stremme. But Stremme got an opportunity to go to the ASA Series and compete with a championship caliber team. He chose that ride that day, but all of a sudden, full circle, here he is driving for ML Motorsports tonight here at Richmond. They'll roll off number 19th today. Stremme's got 100 short track wins and an ASA championship and a Rookie of the Year title in this series. Right now, though, they're just building on the future. Hermie?
Well, Ray, Brian Scott came to the Nationwide Series this year with equipment from Joe Gibbs Racing with a lot of high expectations. So far, he has not gotten the finishes he wants, needs, or deserves. Well, tonight he qualified 3rd here at Richmond, and he's looking to turn his season around. He knows he's got the talent, he knows he's got the potential, but he also knows the only thing that matters are the results. He's looking to get that tonight. Krista?
Hermie starting right alongside Brian Scott. In the 4th position, Eric Almirola. In practice today, he was very quick, but he also said his car went from tight to loose often. So he's not quite sure what the balance is, but he knows he has a strong car. He knows he has a strong team. Eric Almirola could be one of those guys to sneak in and steal the win tonight. Michael?
I want to shine my light on Reed Sorensen. Everybody in this race tonight wants to make it to Cup. Reed wants to make it back there. Back in 2005 as a young NASCAR Nationwide Series rookie, he finished 4th in the point standings. That finish vaulted him into Cup. He had a couple of very successful years in Cup, but then 3 that weren't so good. Where'd he land? Right back here in the Nationwide Series. But Reed knows winning the point championship in 2011 could wind him back up in Cup in 12, Daryl.
Yeah, I really am a big fan of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I like this kid. He's from Olive Branch, Mississippi. You know, Jack Rouse did an interesting thing. He benched this kid because he was wrecking too much. When the kid came back and got in the car, the first thing he did was reward Jack with a 3rd place finish at Daytona. And guess what? Ever since then, he has had 1 DNF in the last 28 starts. He's had 10. He's finished 8th in the last top 10. He's finished top 10 in the last 8 races. I'll get it right in a minute. And he's doing a great job, and I think what Jack did with him was the right thing to do. This kid has got championship written all over him.
Got a very big stable here with Carl Edwards leading that crew. We ride along with a few different drivers, one of those being Elliott Sadler. Tonight he'll start in the 18th spot. Jason Leffler carries one of our cameras. He starts 16th tonight. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., we talked about him potentially getting that big win here on the short track. He'll start 9th tonight. And a guy with 3 wins at this racetrack, very successful here in Richmond, is Kenny Wallace, and he will start 7th tonight.
When you talk about Kenny Wallace, you want to talk about the early 90s. He won 3 times in a row here. 94, 95, and 96. Kenny Wallace drove to victory lane. You watch him here, he roughs up old David Green and drives around him and drives off to the checkered flag.
Michael, he is a race car driver. He tells us that all the time. And he's hit the refresh button, and this year he's got a great car, good team, and he's getting a lot out of it.
It's a lot of fun also to see the enthusiasm. Kenny's getting on up there in years like me and you know, but yet he still has that drive, that desire to be a part of the story. And he tells us that every week.
I heard Kurt Busch say there that Kenny Wallace inspires him to have a good attitude.
41 cars all in line, 2 by 2, stacked up behind the 60 of Carl Edwards and the 12 of Sam Hornish Jr. Coming out of turn number 4. We are underway with Nationwide Racing on speed.
Check out that start by Brian Scott. He was all over Carl Edwards' bumper as they went down into turn 1.
Here comes Justin Allgaier. He settles into third, just in front of Sam Hornish Jr. Didn't have the start he was looking for. That's Eric Almirola on the outside now of Kenny Wallace. Those two battling for 5th, right behind the 12 of Sam Hornish.
Got to watch these cars when they're all bottled up like this. They're on low air pressure. Car moves around a little bit more. Don't want to get into somebody early in the race and cause a wreck.
And that's what Kenny Wallace is threatening with doing right there, Darrell. He slid up a little bit in the middle of turn 1 and 2 there, giving Almirola a good run off that corner, but Kenny's fighting back on the inside. Look at that, side by side.
Kenny Wallace holding his ground. Eric Almirola still trying to complete the pass on the high side. We know that the racing groove is going to move up the racetrack as they continue to put rubber down, but we're only on lap number 3 of this race.
Well, when you're on new tires like we are right now, that's when you got max grip. You can hang that bottom, but as the tires wear a little bit, you're going to have to find another groove.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the inside. He's trying to make the pass on Eric Almirola. Right behind him, Denny Hamlin in the 20. Slapped the wall coming out of turn number 4 in his qualifying effort. That's why he didn't have as good of a qualifying effort as he thought he was going to, but they didn't make any adjustments to that car. That's why he was able to hold his starting position.
And that really surprised me because they had significant damage to the right side of that car, but I guess they looked it over and said it's good enough to race.
Almirola tucks in behind the 20 now. Denny Hamlin got by him. Kelly Byers in the 18 just behind that 88.
That'll be a fun story to follow tonight. Kyle Busch has had so much success in that 18 car. Kelly Byers jumps in. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with it. Looking good early in the going.
Edwards has a half a second lead over Brian Scott. Sam Hornish Jr. is just over a second behind our leader, Carl Edwards.
Sometimes, you know, people say, is it the car, is it the driver? That's what I like about short tracks. It sort of takes the car out of the equation. You got to have a good handling car, but you got to be a wheel man when you get on these little racetracks.
How about Paul Menard looking to the outside right now of Brad Keselowski trying to take that spot away as we see Joe Nemechek shove the front end up underneath Paul Menard.
Front row Joe.
There are great stories all over this racetrack. The battle between the young Paul Menard and the veteran Joe Nemechek. Both of them running solidly right outside of the top 10.
So it's Edwards, Brian Scott, Sam Hornish Jr., Justin Allgaier, and Kenny Wallace. They're your top 5.
Right behind the battle there between Nemechek and Menard rides Mike Bliss, another veteran of the series.
Menard he was really excited about coming to Richmond. It has not been one of his best racetracks. He's in a good car tonight, and he's got a good car for tomorrow night because of the Childress and Kevin Harvick connection.
Talk about youth in this series. Chris Buescher making his first ever NASCAR start in that number 16 as we see the battle now between Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the outside, and here comes Denny Hamlin trying to take that spot away. That is a fight for 6th. Stenhouse Jr. has it. Hamlin trying to take it away.
And you can see the right side of the 20 car there around the rear tire where he scraped the wall, but really it doesn't look like it made any significant damage.
You know, you talked to Denny, Darrell, about his corner entry, and we saw it right there. He doesn't like to charge the corners here at Richmond. He thinks you let off early and let the thing roll is the way you make good time. We saw in both corners on entry, the 6 car drove out ahead of him, but then Denny makes it all up right in the center of the corner. That's how he drives this track.
That's what you got to do. You got to roll it into the corner. You got to stay off the brake. If you stay on the brake, the car won't turn. You got to get off the brake, let it turn, roll the corner, accelerate off like you see Hamlin doing here in the 20 car.
Completed 10 laps on lap number 11. Our top 3, Edwards, Scott, and Hornish. And how about Eric Almirola?
I'd say if there is a professor at this racetrack, it's probably Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
He's a good guy to follow and watch and take notes off of.
From Chesterfield, Virginia, which is less than 20 minutes from here. Calls this his home track.
We've had one race here this weekend, and he won it.
Well, you know, I tell you, talking about that, Elliott Sadler said he would rather win here at Richmond than he had to win at Daytona.
Yeah.
That shocked me.
Home state. I mean, Darrell, obviously you've got a tie, both of you, to Kentucky. And so that would be one of those states where I'm guessing if you were still racing, to win at Kentucky would be pretty big.
I would put everything I had into that one race.
There's Elliott Sadler right there following along behind Josh Wise. That's a 16th and 17th there. It just goes to show you how tough this is. Elliott Sadler will have a chance to win this championship this year early in the going here at Richmond, a place he dearly wants to win. He's riding along in 17th spot. I bet he doesn't stay there all night, though.
No, he'll be battling up front before long. Paul Menard continuing to fall back. He started this race in 6th. He's back to 11th, but trying to battle back as he's got Brad Keselowski in front of him.
And Brad's all over the back of Kelly Byers. Look, Brad will make that move here before a lap or two's gone.
Yeah, it's easy to get shuffled back on the start early. You get in the wrong line, it doesn't go, and you get a bunch of cars passing you. Got to fall into a place here like he's done, like Paul's doing. Get into a rhythm, and then work your way back up.
Saw Kelly Byers really loose off turn 2 over there, but Keselowski wasn't able to make the move. You can see how good that Keselowski sticks on the bottom, and that's aggravating to Byers. Watch what it does to him as he exits 2 here. I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm sideways.
But Mike, look in the windshield of that car. Even from looking through our cameras, you can see the intensity in those eyes as he focuses on where he's going and what he's doing.
And here's some intensity here as Paul Menard makes the pass back on Brad Keselowski. He realizes that now is the time to go. Only 250 laps. He's got to get back to the front.
Well, like Darrell said, he didn't have a great start, but darn, the thing seems to have fallen into a rhythm now, and he drove around the very, very fast car of Brad Keselowski.
Michael Annett, Scott Wimmer here. Looks like Wimmer about to put the front bumper to the back bumper of that 62.
Yeah, back in the early 2000s, Wimmer won about 5 or 6 races one year in the Nationwide Series. So this is a cat that knows how to get the job done, and he's all over Annett. It looks like he's going to make the move off too.
And you can just see here, that's how close you come to each other. And one little bobble unexpected, and you'll turn the guy in front of you around. He doesn't get back in the gas, car gets a little loose, you're into him, and around he goes.
That's that whole keeping it cool thing, man. You just have to understand when you're operating in such tight quarters, things are going to go wrong. If you get turned around, you will lose your cool. But if you get bumped, you better get over it.
And the speeds we talk about right now, they're heading into turn 3. They'll be upwards of 150, 155 miles an hour running 3 feet apart from each other.
And this is frustrating for Wimmer. He's got a faster car, but when you get the guy on the outside that keeps pinning you down, and you can't make that pass, you'll get a little annoyed here in a while, and you might do something you regret.
Carl Edwards out in front, over 0.6 of a second in front of Brian Scott, Sam Hornish Jr., Justin Allgaier, and Kenny Wallace. They're your top 5. But here comes Sam Hornish Jr. He's putting some pretty fast lap times down. You are watching the NASCAR Nationwide Series here on Speed.